These past few months, we've been faced with complicated social situations a lot of us have never had to deal with before.
We sure have. You wonder, is it safe to go to a family party for our kids to socialize with other kids, to have dinner with your neighbors? And if you don't feel comfortable, what do you do?
George James is a licensed family therapist at the Council for Relationships, and he's here to help us find some balance between feeling safe and being peaceful and being sane. Hey, George, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. I mean, I've heard of this argument, and it happens in, I think, almost all households. It's like you can't agree on things, and some of them are very basic, like should we send our kid to camp? Should we go to church or a house of worship? You know, should we go X, Y, or Z? What do you do? How do you find middle ground if two people disagree?
Yeah, it's very complicated, or can be complicated. But one of the things I say to a lot of folks is you have to stay in the conversation. And what that means is that sometimes it can be challenging, but sometimes we have to just keep going. And as a couples therapist, I often can hear both sides of the perspective, most of the times. And it's usually both sides are valid, you know, that to want some safety and to feel good inside your house or to feel some level of normalcy is all valid. But we stop listening to the other person. And so maybe delay the decision, talk more, take breaks, but do whatever you need to do to stay connected and stay in the conversation until you can get to a place where you both can agree. And if you can't, maybe you need to figure out what is the best decision for the two of you to move forward.
Where and how should we be having these conversations? Because there's kids everywhere, or at least in my house. Mm-hmm. What's the best way to talk? Because I think communication is key. That's what you've said before. How do we do that?
Sometimes we have to be able to say, this is not a conversation for right now. We have to say that that we're going to maybe talk about this a little bit later. Maybe have a time that is safe for the two of you. Maybe it's early in the morning or maybe late at night, or maybe be able to have some activities that allow your children to go do something else so that way you can have the conversation. But you don't want to just completely stop communicating because then you won't be able to resolve. But you also want to protect your children a little bit from maybe the information you need to talk about.
And speaking of kids, like there are some families who let their kids go anywhere and hang with, you know, other families and friends, and they don't have many rules, and some have a lot of rules. And if you're somebody who has a lot of rules, how do you explain to your kid, like, oh, look, all the kids are running around and playing together and wrestling, but you can't be in that group? How do you tell them that?
As a parent, your job is to be able to protect your child from harm, at least one of those jobs. And you can share that. You know, as mommy or daddy, part of my job is to protect you from harm. And the best way I can do that is for you to stay home, for you to be with us. And the other job that I have is to help you enjoy life, to have fun. So we're going to come up with games or activities so that you can enjoy life, that we can have fun, and you will eventually maybe miss out some of those other things that people are doing.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of missing out, I think, you know, a lot of people have been missing the big milestones, family parties, graduations, birthdays. So pretend, you know, you don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable going for safety reasons to a graduation party. But how can you say no without offending our family?
Peace of mind is important. Your peace of mind is important. Your feelings are valid. And if you don't feel comfortable, that is perfectly okay. And usually sometimes maybe somebody might get upset. But what I want you to think about is that they're getting upset because they just miss you. They really want you to be there. And if you can remind yourself of that, then you can find a different way to say, hey, I'm sorry that I can't be there, or find other reasons, or find other ways to connect. But your peace of mind, your sanity, lowering your anxiety, all those things are important. And whatever you need to do to protect that is okay.
I think some people are getting like, they get upset because they look on social media and it looks like everybody's having fun. It's like, where's everybody going? They seem like they're all together having a great time. And here I'm sitting in my house trying to follow rules. You know, how do you get past FOMO?
Yeah, you know, FOMO has got a lot of people in trouble, right? The fear of missing out will let people do things or try things that they shouldn't. And sometimes, like, as you mentioned, looking at social media, we can think that maybe the virus isn't real, but it is real. And lots of people, unfortunately, have been sick or even have lost their lives. So it's important that we remember that and remember the facts, no matter what you see on social media, no matter what people are doing. And so once again, one of the things that you can do is that control what you can control, right? And what you control is your household and what you do. what other people post or how they get together during
Right.
this time, that's on them. You can't control that. And so try to find a way to say, like, look, I need to take care of my own anxiety, my own worry about health and safety, and take care of yourself in that way.
Okay.
And nobody posts their bills or their bad moments on social
Right,
media.
exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be funny if we all did that just for one day?
Yeah. Here's what it really looks like.
George, thank you.
See how much I owe, right?
Right, exactly. Good to see you, George. Thank you so much.